Payam,你要不要进那个坑？是。有了。
Graduation like this?
Ours is like a week celebration.
Really?
It's so like
Ladies and gentlemen, join us in congratulating the graduating class of 2001. And now, would you please remain standing for the national anthem sung by Sarah Edwards.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Please be seated. I now present Daniel Newman, Dean of the UCLA School of the Arts and Architecture.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the faculty and staff of UCLA Arts, our School of the Arts and Architecture, I welcome you, the class of 2001, and your friends and relatives to our commencement ceremony. I'm also pleased to welcome UC Regent, Dr. Velma Montoya, who's joining us this morning. Commencement, you think of it as the end, but it really means, as you know, and marks the beginning of a new and exciting chapter in your lives. It's the starting point for your future, a future based solidly on the rich artistic, creative, and intellectual foundations you've built at our school. We're gathered here this morning to rejoice, to celebrate your accomplishments, and to look ahead to that future. It's a time to acknowledge your hard work, your discipline, your talent. It's a time also to give thanks for the education you've received, for the dedication of your teachers, and for the friendships you have formed here. And it's also a time to reflect on the opportunities and the responsibilities which will come with having been trained as you have to be the artistic and cultural leaders of the beginning decades of the 21st century. And remember also that you're about to begin making what 50 years from now will be seen as the history of the early part of this century. We're living in a time of great excitement and anticipation, where the future promises much but demands much as well, where the multiplicity of our heritages juxtapose ethnicities and identities, both raising hope for new ways of being together, as well as the fear of old ways of staying apart, where the flood of digital information blurs the distinctions and differences between the arts, thereby creating the possibilities of new and untried artistic domains, but it also threatens valued traditions by making obscure or even invisible the relationship of the original work with its facsimile or even fakes. Despite these dangers, I believe that we are now entering yet another age. I'm an optimist at heart, the age of a new creativity. This will be an era in which the explosion of new information technologies, the restructuring of new ways of acquiring knowledge, and the global cross-currents of cultural communication will altogether make an unprecedented demand on the insights, skills, and imagination of artists and creative thinkers like you. You will be needed, therefore, as never before, to interpret, express, and bring order and compassion to this new world. Art is the vehicle through which we're able to tell a story about ourselves, and to our descendants. So, 2001 graduates, your responsibility is clear. It's your job to redesign, recast, and sing again your great story so the rest of us will understand more deeply who we are, and so our children will learn how to tell their story to their children. In Western culture, art is often thought of as just entertainment and play, and I don't want to downgrade the importance of that. I guess at this point I could say we're happy to celebrate the victory of the Lakers last night. But we also know better. It's not just entertainment and play. If it's just for fun or pleasure, why do we refer to works of art? Making art is the hardest work we know. It takes enormous dedication, ungodly amounts of time, and that magic of the spirit that we call inspiration. Along the way, new discoveries and ideas are continually added to this story. Yesterday's knowledge, once carved in granite or danced on stage, becomes the basis for the continual rethinking and reimagining that marks the creative basis of the human condition. In making art work, and by this I mean the work itself as well as its effectiveness, artists face another burdensome responsibility, that of the prophet. Making art work means transforming received ideas, questioning conventional wisdoms, and anticipating future dangers. Art that is working can inspire, and it can inspire joy or dismay, but whatever the feeling that's evoked, it works by revoking the unengaged consciousness. I hope that you've learned here at UCLA to respect borders while trying to reshape boundaries and transcend barriers, to value active involvement in your community and the world, and to strive to push the creative envelope ever more. As artists and creative thinkers, as graduates of our school, you have the privilege and the responsibility to illuminate, challenge, and change the way we perceive and engage the world. Your voices and visions will touch and transform our lives, creating a future enhanced by a deeper understanding of our condition and the invention of new ways of being for the betterment of your families, your communities, and for generations to come. As you now embark on your futures, we hope that you will think of the School of the Arts and Architecture as one of your important places, and the faculty, staff, and your fellow students as one of your important communities. We hope that you'll return here to visit and that you'll stay active as alumni. We look forward to receiving news of your future success. Your success is our success, affirming and reaffirming to the public and indeed to ourselves the importance of our mission as a great educational institution. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce our Executive Vice Chancellor, Wyatt Rory-Yu.
Thank you, Dean Newman. On behalf of Chancellor Carnesale and the entire UCLA family, I'm pleased to welcome all of you and to say congratulations to the class of 2001. UCLA is very proud of you. Congratulations also to the parents, the family members, the spouses and friends of the class of 2001. We know that your support has been key to the achievements of the triumphs that we will celebrate today. Graduation is a great and momentous moment. It honors significant accomplishment, successful fulfillment of the requirements for the degree in the mechanical sense, but it also signals the end of a very special and formative period of life. It marks the beginning, the commencement of the great future that you were prepared for at UCLA. The American actor Alan Alda once said, "Be brave enough to live life creatively. The creative place is the place where no one else has ever been. You have to leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your intuition. What you discover will be wonderful. What you'll discover will be yourself. Your experiences during your time in the School of Arts and Architecture have prepared you very well to leave the city for the wilderness. Whether you're a dancer, a musician, a visual artist, or an architect, all of you are creators now and in the future. Your intuition will guide you to a unique place of self-discovery, and the great performances, the designs, the structures, the works of art that come from your journeys will enable us all to share in that extraordinary process. All of your endeavors will continue to live in countless ways. Great architecture inspires us, as well as providing functional spaces in which to live and work, create, and to heal. Music, visual arts, and dance all stir our souls, evoke a vast range of emotions, and remind us of the beauty that surrounds us every day. The arts reveal who we are, they tell us where we've come from, and they teach us about ourselves. The world needs visionaries like you. We applaud your accomplishments at UCLA, and we encourage and rejoice in all that you will bring to the world beyond these walls. UCLA's foremost role lies in preparing leaders to take our communities, our state, our nation, indeed the world, into the future. While you're here, we offer you extensive opportunities for intellectual, artistic, and personal growth and discovery. The faculty and the staff, with a lot of help from your fellow students, prepare you to excel in your professions. And then, whenever the opportunity arises, we unabashedly boast that you graduated from UCLA. Commencement is the intermission between Act 1, your education, and Act 2, what some people call the real world. At UCLA, we've tried to make that real world an integral part of your education, to prepare you to embark upon careers in an era of rapid and sweeping change in technology and society. We strive to prepare well-rounded students, scientists who can appreciate great works of literature and art, writers and artists who understand the many ways that science can impact our daily lives, and informed citizens who understand the world around them and can make sense of the vast array of competing choices and possibilities. At UCLA, you've had many opportunities to develop and demonstrate leadership in the studio, in the classroom, in the vast array of extracurricular organizations and activities, and in your service to the campus and to the broader community. As UCLA students, you've already proven that yours are among the very best minds in the nation and in the world. The degree that you receive today places you in a very special category. It's a category that comes with responsibility. People will expect big things of you. They will look to you for leadership, starting now. And you are ready to meet that challenge. Everyone in the entire UCLA family joins me in congratulating you on what you've achieved so far and on the many successes that you will accomplish in the years ahead. Congratulations, class of 2001.
It is now indeed a great pleasure, as Dean Newman, to introduce composer Randy Newman, and no, we are not related. Randy Newman is a gifted composer and recording artist whose songs reflect the human condition and often target a society's bigoted fringe. A social satirist blessed with a sardonic sense of humor, his work is not always understood or appreciated by some who fail to grasp the intent of his lyrics. His song Short People Got No Reason to Live, overcame the protests of the humorless and uncomprehending to earn a gold record in 1978. You might say that he went into the family business, although his father was a physician. His uncles, Alfred, Lionel, and Emil, were distinguished composers for film. Randy Newman's film scores have earned him 14 Academy Award nominations so far, starting with Ragtime and most recently with Meet the Parents. His recordings and awards are too numerous to mention here, but a 4-disc box set came out called Guilty, 30 Years of Randy Newman. It was released in 1998 to commemorate his career to date. Randy turned pro while still an undergraduate studying music here at UCLA in the 1960s. We are very proud indeed to claim him as one of our own. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Newman.
Thank you, Dean Newman, Executive Vice Chancellor Hume, UC Regent Velma Montoya, and the faculty. This is truly a wonderful day. Often people who are very good at what they do, as you all must be, take it for granted and think that everyone can do it. I'm here to attest that not everyone can do it. I began my undergraduate. I noticed that both Rory Hume and Dean Newman, who is actually my brother, he changed his name. He was embarrassed about being Jewish. It didn't help. 40 years ago, I began school here, and I have yet to receive my degree. The last time I wore a cap and gown like this, I was standing next to my best friend, Foster Sherwood, whose father was a regent here one time. And my father said, "Jesus, Foster, you look great in that cap and gown." And I was standing right next to him. He said nothing to me. But in those days, I'm from show business, so it's very difficult for me to go 15 or 20 seconds without talking about myself. So I'll tell you a bit of my academic history. We get out in February. We were a class of winter, 61. The New Yorkers we were. So I came from, like, Thursday night, we had like this wretched kind of grad night where my date and I passed out in the car and no one came to wake us up, which was the sad part. And a graduation, and then Monday we had orientation. And it was either in Royce or Haynes Hall. It was someplace with a theater. There were 400 or 500 kids there. And I was sitting near the back, of course, you know, and they were showing slides. They were showing slides of when the school was on Vermont. It had just begun. They had just about to make the move. The roads were getting newer. And I leaned back, and the show stopped. There was a big jiggle, and the slides stopped. And I looked back and I realized that I had broken the slide projector. And the show ended. They were unable to fix it. And it wasn't like, "Oh man, that was cool, you stopped it." It was like everyone was looking at it. It was their first experience at college, and everyone was nervous, and they hated me. And I sort of, you know, slunk off like that, like a dog. Today, as I said, it is a wonderful day. It's actually Bloom's Day, which is the day in which all the action takes place in perhaps the greatest novel ever written, Joyce's Ulysses. And it's a book that I read here at UCLA, and it's a book that you can't read without help. It's impossible. You have to have a teacher. The same is true of Faulkner, which I read here, The Bear, and things that I'm very grateful for it. Now, I want to get back to myself for a moment. Parking used to be difficult here. I know it's very easy now. There were things I was good at here in school and things I wasn't good at. I was good at all the composition classes. I was fairly good in English and history. Harmony, counterpoint, I was all right. Sight singing, I'll show you, was brutal for me. Absolutely brutal. And when I couldn't find a place to park, I'd keep going. And I missed a great number of classes, and many of them were sightseeing. And it hurts me. To this day, every day, I use something I learned here, and I mean it. I'm doing a movie now. And, you know, I was listening to the trumpets over there having to play softly when they're very high, and it's a very difficult thing to do, and I learned it here from Kelly James, who taught orchestration when I was here. And I learned also, there used to be a Newman Club on Hillgard. It's a Catholic youth society. And I put a plastic Jesus on my dashboard and used to try and park there. And I did park there for a while until someone stole it. Now, that's enough of me. I feel, not having worked as hard here as I might have, I feel it every day. Guys who have I've done well, you know, but I feel really, there are guys like Don Davis who went to school here and graduated, Johnny Williams who went to Juilliard, who have a facility I don't have. I may get to the same place, or a better place even than they get. Yes, a better place. But they've got the facility that hours of counterpoint and harmony give you that I don't really have. I really have to grind it out and you know, work whenever I'm awake to get there. You're a group of people, as I notice every time I perform, as I conduct an orchestra, who have spent years of your life alone in a room. The same can be said of snipers. But it's an admirable thing. Most people are unable to do it, and I admire you deeply for it. You're about to go out into the world, and I very badly want to tell you something that you'll remember and that will help you. This isn't it, but I'm going to tell you. You will inevitably, because of the way things are, work for people who are less intelligent than yourself. You cannot, it's almost impossible to avoid that, since you are intellectuals by virtue of your education and your degree. This country, as I learned here by reading Turner's book about the frontier, this country doesn't like intellectuals much. It likes tough guys. It doesn't like intellectuals. Take a look at a beer commercial sometime. You are also, as it says on one of these cards I have here, you also, as an artist, are sensitive and vulnerable to criticism, and you should be aware of that in yourself. You're going to have to learn to take some criticism and sort of roll with it. I do hope that you get to earn your living practicing your art, and I wish you all the success possible, and I congratulate you on accomplishing what I wasn't able to do in getting your degree. All the best to you, and the best to your parents and your friends. You've done a wonderful thing today, and I hope you realize it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy Newman. I'd like now to recognize members of the faculty and take this opportunity to thank them for their efforts and service throughout the year. They contribute significantly, actually fundamentally, to who we are and what we do here at UCLA, and so much to the success of our graduates. Would the members of the faculty please rise and receive the acknowledgments you so richly deserve? Faculty, please rise. Now I'm pleased to present the recipient of the School of the Arts and Architecture Graduate Recognition Award for the class of 2001. This award rotates every year to each of the departments in our school, and this year's graduate student is from the Department of Art. It gives me great pleasure to introduce this year's speaker, Erin Cosgrove. Congratulations.
I didn't know I got a plaque. Tio, si está errato de amo de flautista. Or, for those of you whose Esperanto is rusty, this is a short segment from Sycophant Love, one of the 7 romance novels I'm writing simultaneously. It'll be the only English language version, as it's going to be translated into Esperanto, the international language of love. We join Farron, heroine of Sycophant Love, in the midst of graduating from the School of Arts and Architecture. I dedicate this reading to the class of 2001. Farron looked down at her fine, tanned hands with their tapered, flawless nails and smiled openly. Then, she lifted her exceptionally pretty head to gaze at the endless blue sky and whimsically considered its similarity to her fingernails. They're both cloudless, she mused, just like my future. With her long, sensitive fingers, she'd soon grasp the paper that would one day reside on the wall behind her mahogany desk. A desk where, no doubt, she would hold court with ambassadors, nobility, and, dare she think it, the reunited cast of One Day at a Time. Over the sea of caps and gowns, Farron saw the commencement speaker take the stage. It was Marcy O'Leary. That wad, thought Farron, breathless with rage. She used to be my 3D design TA. Why is she up there? And then a smile pulled at her pillowy red lips. It no longer mattered. Marcy pushed aside a strand of silken black hair and spoke. We graduates stand before an uncertain future, beckoning us ever onward to the overhang of tomorrow. Farron sighed. God, what is the time limit on this speech? Then thoughts of him sent her pulses spinning. He was always clouding her mind. She missed his infectious smile, the curls of his rakish, chestnut locks. A series of soft-lit vignettes flickered by as she silently cherished each and every honey-infused memory of her maligned former flame. Noblesse oblige, Marcy droned. How can we claim to be a civilized nation when we still have the barbaric death penalty? We should revoke it, now that we executed Timothy McVeigh. Farron searched the crowd for Mott's reassuring, rugged face. He was nowhere to be seen. Could he still be mad that I revealed how he blatantly copied his final project from an earlier Naumann piece? Not to mention the other incident, jeopardizing his ability to graduate as stated in page 2, section 3 of the Student Conduct Code? Farron no longer knew. Her violet eyes began to mist as the jagged and painful thought settled. Maybe Blair was right when she said that under all my conniving, that I loved Mott. She wrestled with her groping heart while Marcy droned on. Education does not make you immune to your duties to humanity. Educated people, and those with a C average, have brought our country to the brink of disaster. These people may or may not be highly educated, but what indeed did they learn? I say, without love, there is no humanity. And without humanity, there are no humans. And without humans, who is left to write the future? Tears began falling hard and fast from Farron's thickly lashed eyes. She suddenly knew with chilling clarity that all her glory, grants, and promising future wouldn't mean anything without seeing the crinkles of Mott's doubtful brow. In an unladylike display of rage, Farron threw her graduation cap to the ground. No, she thought, I must go on. I made this Procrustean bed, now I must lie in it. She bent to retrieve her hat. When Farron straightened again, she was face to face with the man she always loved. Free from the suffocating mask of self-constraint, she was impaled by his steady gaze. Mott, it's you. I'm so glad you came to see me graduate despite my beastly ways. Mott swept Farron into his black-robed arms. Her heaving, high-perched bosom crushed into the firm of his chest. It was only then she noticed he was wearing the garb of a graduate. Mott, is it possible? Are you graduating too? Mott smiled and was darkly handsome. Yes, Farron, it's true. I convinced the chair that I wasn't copying Naumann per se, but instead I was ironically reinterpreting his efficacy in the post-postmodern era. Besides, is it not our duty to challenge and expose the failings of our teachers to complete the natural, nay, necessary Oedipal development to adulthood? Farron had no idea what he was talking about.
I'm one of the short people. I didn't write a book, but I have props. So here we are about to graduate from college. We've assembled here today in our strange hats and our Supreme Court 2001 spring fashion lineup. And as we gaze thoughtfully around at our peers, we wonder to ourselves, what the heck are we doing here dressed like this? And that's a good question. What are we doing here today? We came to UCLA from 1,000 different places for 1,000 different reasons. Some came to study, some came to party, some came out of pure curiosity. And we all ended up here today, right now. But did we show up just to please our parents, take a few pictures, and get a piece of paper from the guy in the outfit? Yes? Out in our funny hats, one step away from heading off into the sunset. We wonder, are we ready? Has college prepared us? And yes, in the most inadvertent way, it has. So congratulations, class of 2001. It's time to grab your favorite hat and head off into the sunset.
For their distinguished scholastic achievements, we recognize our Chancellor's Marshals, who are wearing the blue and gold fourragère on their right shoulders and are assisting with the ceremony. And I'd like each to stand as I name them. James Cabiza de Vaca, Department of Ethnomusicology. Eric Giovanola, Department of Design, Media Arts. Our marshals are very popular. Deborah Gipsman, Department of World Arts and Cultures. Leah Goldman, Department of Music. John Kennel, Department of Art. Finally, I wish to congratulate the outstanding graduates identified by their gold fourragère at receiving Latin honors for their high achievements here at UCLA. Will our Latin honors candidates please stand? I'm proud to announce that we have 3 Doctor of Musical Arts candidates and a number of PhD candidates joining us. on the stage this morning. I would like to ask them to please stand as I read their names so that we may acknowledge their accomplishments. The Doctor of Musical Arts candidates are Katarina Olivia Brand, Department of Music. Stephen Allen Morgan, Department of Music. Pamela Beth Rintoul, Department of Music. Our Doctor of Philosophy candidates are the PhDs, Margaret Allen Hontos, Department of Music. Christian J. Davis Keister, Department of Ethnomusicology. Takahiro Aoyagi, Department of Ethnomusicology. And Yoshihiro Kobayashi, Department of Architecture and Urban Design. Guangming Li, Department of Music. And Vikas Shrestha, Department of Architecture and Urban Design. Congratulations to you all. And now to announce the names of each of our students receiving graduate degrees, beginning with the Master of Architecture, Master of Arts in Architecture, Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts, and Master of Music. I've asked the chairs of each department and the Chancellor's Marshals to assist me. Welcome first to Professor Dana Cuff, Vice Chair of the Department of Architecture and Urban Design.
Will the candidates for the Master of Architecture, Master of Arts in Architecture, Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts, and Master of Music please rise and remain standing? By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Regents of the University of California, I confer upon you the respective master's degrees for which you have been presented, with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Now, we will announce the names of the students receiving their undergraduate degrees, but first, very soon now, I'd like to ask the Chancellor's Marshals to come forward and receive their certificates. James Kabiza de Vaca, Department of Ethnomusicology. Eric Giovanola, Department of Design, Media Arts. Deborah Gibsman, Department of World Arts and Cultures. Leah Goldman, Department of Music. And John Kennel, Department of Art. Now please welcome again Professor Drucker, who will begin the student introductions of undergraduates for the Department of Art.
Hi.
Larima.
Justin Andrew Goldwater.
I got to take a picture too.
Heather Ann Hamill. Joanne Stone. Max Quo. Janelle Thampour. Marissa Angelin Sherman. Jessica Yoon. Happy Hyung Kim. Anne Christine Manolakis. Allison Marie Steele. Jenna Mackenzie Kerr. Linda S. Kim. Ann Porter. Kristen Eileen Everberg. Lori Francis Schindler. Victoria Patricia Rios. Mary Elizabeth Ragsdale. Catherine Comfort Nelson. Catherine. Stacy Ann Holt. Brian Scott Van Klooster. Michael Burns. Dun Kwon Win. Oh gosh. Kevin Matthew Schmidt. Ryan Nicholas Rockland. Allison Michelle Kortson.
Juliette Monique Comagere. Jonathan Lewin Silverman. David Gaston Green. Ora Talan Baldomero. Christine Elizabeth Calderon. Fong Tu. Please welcome Associate Dean Robert Winter, who will introduce the student receiving his degree in an individual field.
One of the best kept secrets at UCLA is the major in an individual field, and I'm proud to present to Dean Archili the Bachelor of Arts in Digital and New Media Studies. Congratulations, Dean. And his dog, Slick.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Now please welcome back Jan Robertson, who will introduce the students in music.
Payam Laryani. Brian Sona. Yargos Vasil Andionakis.
Molly Berry. Garrett Wood Darland.